Is there something that you have wanted in your life that you think, well, that's too big. That's not for me. I could never have that, or God wouldn't want me to have it, or I shouldn't ask for that. I know I have felt that way. There's a lot of like kind of little seeds and dreams that just like bubble up in my heart and in my mind. And for a long time, I thought, well, that's not for me, or I couldn't do that, or I can't really have that. And so I kind of just like gave up on it. I never even asked God for it. I just like was like, oh no, I probably couldn't do that. But I want to tell you that little thought bubble, that little dream, that little seed that is in your heart of something that you want to do, have, that's there for a reason. That is there so that you can do it and you can accomplish it. And I want you to know that God does want you to have that, and He's going to help you in that. Especially if you ask. You need to ask Him. So this did happen for me many times, but the biggest experience that I had was I was going through postpartum depression and had terrible anxiety after our third baby was born. And I just felt like my life was just like in the crapper. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, my life was over as I knew it. I didn't know who I was anymore, and I didn't know if I would ever be the same. And in this time, my husband and I had the thought, we were kind of planning a trip to Disney World, because that's where you go when you're sad. But we were planning this trip. We lived in Colorado at the time, planning this trip to Disney World, and I just had this like thought and just this overwhelming, this desire to not just go on a trip, but to live there and to go whenever my heart desired, and to just enjoy Disney to the very fullest that I could. And I knew, so John and I had lived there not next to Disney, but we'd lived in Florida and had Universal passes when he was going to school. And so we knew like how much fun that was. But this time I wanted to live next door to Disney World and take my family and do that. And so John and I were discussing it, and we decided to pray about it. We asked God if we could do this. And the reason that we asked is because when I'm moving forward, especially anything big in my life, like, I want God on my side and I want Him to help me. So I want to make sure like He's in this with me so that, I feel confident moving forward. And I can remember praying and asking Him about this desire that I had. And it was just this overwhelming, yes, Katie, go, do it, have fun. And I remember having the thought when it was all over, so it did happen, we did go there and I had the most amazing experience. But when it was all over, I remember thinking there was no huge need on God's side for me to be there. I didn't change anyone's life. I didn't save anyone's life. I didn't, there wasn't anything huge, a reason that I thought was huge that I needed to be there spiritually. But for this, God wanted me to just have it and enjoy it and experience it. And we did. And it was just, when I say it's the most magical experience, like, it sounds so cliche, but it really was. It was, the time that we had there was amazing. Actually, I made this video years ago about it because it just meant so much to me. And so I have this little clip that I'm going to show you about our time there. So I'm going to show you that now. you may not have the desire to go move and live next door to Disney World like I did, but you might have the desire to start a business or create something or build a home that you really love or travel somewhere. Like, what desires and what things are bubbling up in you that you want to do, that you want to experience? I'm going to challenge you to ask God for those experiences. Ask him if it's okay and ask him for his help. One of my favorite things to read about prayer, it's in the Bible dictionary. Okay, so it says that prayer is the act by which the will of the Father and the will of the child are brought into correspondence with each other. The object of prayer is not to change the will of God, but to secure for ourselves and for others the blessings that God is already willing to grant, but that are made conditional on our asking for them. So I love that part where it says that God is already willing to grant you those things, but he needs us to ask. It's conditional on our asking. We need to ask him. And so, but I feel like so many of us, myself included, even though I did this, I still can fall into to feeling like this. But even though, but sometimes I just don't ask. I feel like, well, that's maybe not for me, or maybe I shouldn't have that or couldn't have it. But God is saying, like, talk to me, pray, ask me for things, because I am willing to grant you things. You need to talk to me and pray. So you see this as a sign to ask God for something that is wildly unexpected, or that would just make your heart so happy and so excited. Just ask him. Start with that. I think a lot of people don't get past that point. Don't ever get to that point of asking for something big or asking for something that they truly desire. And so they don't see that come into their lives. But I want you to try it and ask and see what you get and where that how that unfolds. And I'd love to hear in the comments how it worked, what you asked for. I'd love to hear and share with me if it is working for you, because it is working for me, but I'd love to know if it's working for you.